Hello everyone. I'm making this video because I've been researching Noom, and in my last video I talked about how I started Noom yesterday, and I really kind of like it. I think it's going to work for me, and I think that it's going to help me to be very successful, not just in my weight loss but in life itself as well. I just wanted to discuss some of the complaints about Noom that I've seen. And one of the biggest complaints is the lack of presence from the coaches. A lot of people are saying that the coaches aren't giving them enough advice and that the coaches are not really connecting with them well enough. One person even said she didn't like the fact that the coaches had a life of their own and that they weren't there 24/7. I actually kind of disagree with not liking those things, only because I kind of do the same thing for a living. I do peer support for people with mental illnesses, and what I'm getting from the coaches in terms of methodology of communicating and methodology of coaching, it seems kind of the same as peer support. So I want to explain to you what this really is. I just want to explain to you what this really is in terms of the methodology of the coaching. And I know with peers, you think they have lived experiences. A lot of these coaches, you see their pictures and they're these skinny bitches that look like they never had a weight problem. But they have had life challenges, I'm sure. That's why they're life coaches. And whether it's weight loss or any other life challenge, coaching somebody in overcoming life challenges, whether it be weight loss challenges or mental health challenges or relationship challenges or whatever, the methodology is pretty much the same. It's kind of an evidence-based practice, and I just want to go over what that is in terms of how you are to work with your Noom coach to make it work for you. So before I begin doing that, I want to tell you why it's kind of bad to get what you're asking for out of your Noom coach. You don't want to cling to your coach. You don't want to cling to your counselor. You don't want to cling to your case manager or somebody that's working for you that you're paying, because you don't want to have a friend that you pay to be your friend. That is really kind of, well, that's just kind of weird, that you're paying somebody to be your friend, and that's just only going to lead to catastrophe. The second thing is you need to respect the boundaries that the coaches have lives of their own, and they need to live those lives. They need to tend to their families. They need to tend to themselves and their own self-care, because they're not good to anybody if they're not good to themselves. And they have their jobs, and that's whatever their hours they work, and you just got to respect those boundaries. That's just what's appropriate in terms of having vendors in your life. And the third thing I want to say is that, these coaches are not going to lose the weight for you. You need to do it for yourself, and you need to be strong enough to tackle this problem on your own. The coaches are there basically to cheer you on and to kind of train you in doing it yourself. That does not entail giving you advice on how to lose weight, because everybody's different and you need to identify those things on your own. And the coach is there to kind of help you help yourself. Okay, so let's get that straight. The coach is there to help you help yourself, not to help you lose weight, but to help you be able to take it upon yourself to lose the weight. So what is peer support? Let's go into that. Here's a little diagram of what I interpreted. It's kind of based on a diagram I've seen before. Peer support is giving you the knowledge of power you already have. Okay, so the purpose of seeking peer support is to find out how to empower yourself. So what the peer support specialist does, or the life coach or whoever does, the first thing is that thing in the center is empathy. They empathize. They don't sympathize. So they're not going to say, "Oh yeah, I know what you're going through. This is what I do when I am going through this." Now your peers in your group might say that, but 9 times out of 10, the advice they're going to give you is not going to work for you. But it may give you some ideas as to uh, what to do in terms of situations that you find yourself in that are challenging. But the coach is not going to do that. That's not their job. That would be very bad if they did that. If they were in your life on that level. So the first thing they're going to do is empathize. They're going to feel you. They're going to emotionally connect with you, but only on a certain level. Okay, it's only going to go so far. The next thing they're going to do is to help you identify and validate your strengths, not your barriers. They're not going to validate your barriers. They're not going to validate what's stopping you from moving forward. Not that we should ignore those things, but just take a look at those things as a diversion in your path to kind of redirect you into a way of empowerment. So they're going to identify and validate your strengths and maybe acknowledge the barriers but not validate them, because validating barriers only end up turning into excuses as to why you don't succeed. So the next thing they're going to do is ask a bunch of open-ended questions. And a lot of people complain about that. Why, I come to you for advice and all you do is ask me questions. Well, that's what they're supposed to do, because you're the one who's supposed to come up with a way to overcome these challenges, because it's your life that you're living. Nobody's living your life for you. And you know who you are. You know yourself. If you don't know who you are, then you need some further counseling or whatever to find out who you are, I guess. But they're going to ask open-ended questions in terms of you coming up with multiple ways of basically advising yourself on how to overcome that challenge. Okay, so once you come up with those ways, then they're going to help you make a plan as to how to overcome this challenge that you keep having or whatever. They're going to make a plan, and after that they're going to help you implement that plan by encouraging you to go do it and giving you the pep talk or whatever. And hopefully that plan will work out. If not, then you come back to them and say, well, this worked, but this didn't. This is working, but this isn't working. And again, validating the strengths, asking open-ended questions, identifying once you've identified the new challenges, validating the strengths and identifying them, open-ended questions, making a plan, and implementing that plan. And you just keep going through that cycle until you've reached your goal. And so that's the reason why the Noom coaches are the way they are, I think. Because what I get out of them seems very similar to what I do myself for a living when I coach other people in recovery from a mental illness. It seems this way in our recovery from obesity. It's a psychological approach, so naturally it's going to have some connections with psychology and mental health. So that's all I have to say about that. If you want to leave a comment about what you think about what I said, go right ahead. I would love to hear from you. And keep doing the Noom. And keep, if you work it correctly, it should work for you. It looks like it will work for me. I've only been doing it for a couple of days, but it entails things that have worked for me in the past. But there's some new features. Some features in it that are new to me that I really, really like. So, thank you for watching, and God bless you.